This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. Go to bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts.
Hey guys, welcome to the Faves of Our Lives. I'm Kelly Kapowski, and your other host is Brittany.
Hey guys.
Today we're talking about Saved by the Bell.
Nice sound effect. Where did you pull that from?
That's the reason that I got this app today, was because I wanted to do that. And I was like, I really don't have a bell at my house or a toy bell. Like, none of the kids have a toy bell. So I downloaded that literally for this intro.
Well, I'm excited to see what other sound effects you're just going to throw in at random. Okay, today we're talking about Saved by the Bell. It premiered August 28th, 1989. It was on air for 4 seasons between 1989 and 1992. But that's where this gets kind of tricky, because all of the episodes that we're covering fall into that 1989 to 1992 Saved by the Bell era. But the show started with Good Morning Miss Bliss from 1987 to 1989. That starred Hayley Mills, changed into Saved by the Bell from 1989 to 1992, which we're covering. Had a side story of Saved by the Bell Hawaiian style in 1992. Changed to Saved by the Bell The College Years in 1993 that ran 1 season to 1994, had a conclusion of most of that storyline with a movie, Saved by the Bell Wedding in Las Vegas in 1994, and had an entire new storyline run in Saved by the Bell The New Class from 1993 to 2000, which I had no idea that even existed.
Is that like the college years or whatever?
No, the college years is completely separate.
I don't even know what's going on anymore.
I don't either. I went in and I'm like, what? This show was only on for 4 seasons? That doesn't seem right. And then I started it and I was like, where's Hayley Mills? Because I remembered Miss Bliss.
Okay, she's from The Parent Trap.
Yes.
For anybody that doesn't know. I just Googled it.
I can't believe you had to Google it. I love that one.
I'm sorry.
Anyway.
Not all of us had cable growing up.
I didn't have cable. I had 4 channels.
Was this one of them? Because I don't remember this.
I don't know. I remember Hayley Mills.
Oh, Pollyanna.
Yes. So yes, that was very confusing when I was trying to put all of this information together.
Yeah, when you were saying it just now, I was trying really, really hard not to crack up, which I didn't do a very
failed.
good job. That was a lot of information.
The cast from 1989 to 1992 is Mark Paul Gosselaar as Zach Morris, Mario Lopez as AC Slater, Dustin Diamond as Samuel Screech Powers, Lark Voorhees as Lisa Turtle, Tiffany Amber Thiessen as Kelly Kapowski, Elizabeth Berkley as Jesse Spano, and Dennis Haskins as Mr. Richard Belding. The general plot, which I pulled off of IMDb, is Zach Morris, the cool troublemaker, AC Slater, the kind-hearted jock, Screech Powers, the smart and funny nerd, Kelly Kapowski, the teen dream, who is Zach Morris's obsession, Lisa Turtle, the gossiping fashion lover, and Jesse Spano, the feminist straight-A student. They make up the 6 individual students and their misadventures at Bayside High School, which is a pretty good description considering I don't really see how you can describe, like, there's no plot to the show. Every episode is a completely different.
It's just high school shenanigans.
Yeah, so I pulled that from IMDb because I was like, how do I explain what this show is? So the first episode that we're talking about is The Prom. It's Season 2, Episode 1. Again, that is if we are saying that Season 1 started after Good Morning Miss Bliss. This episode obviously revolves around a prom. Kelly is having a crisis over whether to choose Slater over Zach. She finally picks, and she finds out that she can't go because her dad loses his job.
This is going to be confusing for me.
Because I said Kelly and you were like, what?
Yeah. So I chose Zach, and anyway, I just really, even in this time frame, like, I think it's weird that her dad loses her job and he had already given her, like, her allowance or whatever to buy her prom dress. Like, how much money could he really have given her that it makes her change her mind to go to the prom?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. And I get that she was giving the money back and it was kind of a symbolic gesture, you could say. Mm-hmm. But like you said, how much of a dent is that really going to put into anything? Nowadays, it would be, Jesus, thousands of dollars probably. But back then,
right,
I don't think that they took it as seriously.
Like, even if her dad lost his job, let's say he got laid off, he's going to get a severance package. And he's probably, since he's already been employed, I'm sure he can find another job. And I'm sure they probably, since they're not millennials, they probably had a savings account with 6 months of bills worth of savings, right?
You've just offended half of our fan base.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm just speaking the truth. I'm a millennial and I'm living it. Like, I have a savings, but, like, let's just say it's not what 6 months of utilities or whatever. What is it supposed to be? 6 months of whatever it costs you to live?
Like half of your annual salary is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, well, spoiler alert, that is not my current situation.
And apparently it is not Kelly Kapowski's dad. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
This was me when we recorded the Breaking Bad episode.
Yeah, because there were two Brittnys.
Yes, I love having Brittany D on the show. I think that she is a fantastic guest, and we're going to have her on the show again because of that. But it does get a little confusing. Yeah. Yeah, so the episode starts with Zach and Slater rushing into Kelly's bedroom, which I found a little odd.
This is another thing. This show, there was another show. Yes, it was Full House. Why in the 80s are all these teenage kids allowed to have males or females in their bedroom?
Kids in the 80s didn't have sex, Kelly.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, but I felt the same way. I'm like, why would her dad let them, because it's morning, right? It's first thing in the morning. And they rush in, and she's, like, laying there in the bed, and they're like, you have to choose now, you have to choose now.
When I was in high school, there was no way anybody was going to be upstairs.
No.
Let's just say that.
I didn't have an upstairs, but no, not in my room.
Not in the room with the door open, like, not in the room at all.
Yeah. My high school boyfriend, though, my parents trusted quite a bit, and we were allowed to sit in the room and watch movies and stuff.
Well, I don't have anything to say about that. I was trying to come up with something funny, but...
Well, he obviously didn't get any.
Obviously.
But yeah, so she basically tells them that she can't choose. She actually says she wants her mommy, and Slater says, well, Zach can take her.
Yeah, that was like... Who says that?
Slater says that to Kelly.
No, I mean, who says, I want my mommy?
Kelly.
I know that! I'm saying, like, who would say that, like, as a high schooler?
I was like, why is she asking me this question? There's only 3 people in the room. What's so confusing about this?
I'm like, why does she not understand what I'm saying?
Because I told you, I got home from work and I chugged a beer to catch up with you.
Okay.
Also, her mommy is probably right there. All she'd have to do is holler for her.
Right.
So she tells them, I can't choose right now. I'll tell you later. And she has this dream, which you're making fun of me right now for not understanding your question, but you thought the entire episode was a dream.
Yes, that is true news. I did.
So she has this dream. Screech is dressed like Geraldo Rivera, and he's basically interviewing Kelly so that she has to pick, and he says something really funny because he says something about which of these bimbos are you gonna choose, and I thought that was good because bimbos obviously, like, that's typically used to describe a woman, and these two are really acting like little girls.
Yeah, they are.
So she has this dream. I don't know, I can't remember exactly what happened, but she she ends up making a decision. When she gets to the school, she says she's made the decision. She's talking to Jesse and Lisa, and Zach and Slater come out of nowhere, and they're like, "You did? Who did you choose?" And she says that she chose Zach. And Zach at first starts whining, like, "Why would you choose him?" Because he obviously thought Slater was going to one-up him.
Yeah.
Then he realized that she chose him, and it was really cute because it is quite obvious. I don't really like how they worded in the summary of the show that Kelly was his obsession, even though she kind of was, but obsession can be a dangerous thing, and I don't think that his feelings towards her were ever dangerous.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it seemed genuine, like that was his dream girl, and he was super excited about getting this date with her.
They never had been out before this?
I don't know. I just know that he says something about he got a date with his dream girl.
That's sweet.
Yeah. That being said, looks-wise, it would be really, really hard to choose between Slater and Zach. But if we're going personality-wise, I'm pretty sure I would have picked Slater.
I would pick Zach because of his blonde hair.
Okay, but I said personality-wise, not looks-wise.
Okay, but Slater's like such a macho man.
I know, but I don't know. I just feel like... I know that he is kind of misogynistic, but so is Zach in a way. And I just feel like Zach is very self-centered, and he grows out of that eventually, but I don't know. It's just because he's a teenage boy. He's probably a typical teenage boy.
Probably. There was something, I think it's in the next episode, I can't remember exactly what she said, but AC Slater says something to Jessie, and she's like, "Is there a misogynistic point to this or something?"
Yeah.
And I thought that was hilarious. Not to jump ahead, but because you said that, it
That's
made me think
actually
of it.
perfect timing, because I have a note on this episode that Jessie is my spirit animal.
Yeah, but she was also in like a striptease movie.
Well, you know.
After the show.
That's okay.
Well, you are a Blanche, so who knows?
No.
I'm just kidding, you guys.
Showgirls was a good movie, though.
I never saw it, but I told my mother-in-law that this was our next podcast, and she was like, "Oh, that one girl was like in a nude movie after that or something." I'm like, "What are you even talking about?" So I had to look it up.
Yeah, it was Showgirls. I know all about that movie.
So, I mean, she is a very attractive woman.
Mm-hmm.
They all of those girls are. And the guys. They're all attractive people. Where'd they get all these people?
I have mixed feelings on Screech. He obviously...
Okay, Screech.
Yeah.
Whatever. But he's not, like, disgusting.
Yeah, like, I think that he's a cute guy, and I think that the reason why they got away with him being a nerd and it being acceptable was because he was, like, 2 years younger than everybody.
Well, here's the thing. Like, in my mind, I was thinking of him as being, like, this really nerdy, like, Dwight type person.
Yeah.
But then, like, watching the show, I didn't even think, like, I was like, he's not bad.
No.
He is nerdy, but he's not unattractive, or, like, he's not really that weird.
And he's super sweet. Like, in this episode, it's actually directly following when Kelly chooses Zach. Also, I don't know why the entire school was involved in this decision. But when she says that she chose, like, everybody stops in the hallway.
Yeah.
If I was at that school, I would have been like, who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Anyway, Screech asks Lisa to go to prom with him, and she says something about, well, I'll go with you as soon as worms have ears. And it cuts to Lisa sitting with a box in front of her, and I think it's Slater and Jesse come in and look, and they open the box, and they say, why do you have a box full of worms with ears glued to them? And I just thought that was sweet. I thought that was a cute gesture.
It's creepy, but it is, like, he took the time to do that or whatever.
Okay, it's only creepy because it's worms, and the reason that he did it was because she said, if worms have ears.
I think it's funny, though, that they go to the movies, and then they're, like, talking, like, telephone game style.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, they end up sitting next to each other, him and Lisa, and he doesn't like her anymore because she won't stop talking during the movie.
Yeah, like, she even actually gets involved in the movie, but she won't shut up.
Right.
And it ruins the entire film for him, which he was excited to see. So, yeah, he was like, you know what? Forget it. I don't want to go to the prom with you anymore. And she goes chasing after him like, you can't dump me. I'm supposed to dump you.
Yeah, that's really funny.
That leads to Kelly in her bedroom. She's excited about the prom. Her dad walks in, says he lost his job, and all of that. But I was really confused because what he tells her is he lost his job, which is something to do with defense. That's all he says. His job in defense. And it was bad news because the reason that he lost his job was because they had achieved world peace.
Okay, I have another thing to say. That's weird, but in the Jesse's song episode, when they're in her bedroom, she has a poster on her wall that says, "Don't do anything and nuclear testing will go away."
Don't do anything?
Yeah!
And nuclear testing will go away.
Did you see that? Did you
No.
notice that? I was like, what does that even mean?
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so it's all weird.
But it was just, I don't know, it was a very vague description. I'm thinking, like, I don't know what he's talking about. What happened in, oh, well, I guess this is the 90s. What happened in the early 90s that had achieved world peace? I don't know. Or what he could even be alluding to, or what his job would have been.
I don't know.
So she tells her dad, it's fine, I don't need to go to the prom. I don't even really want to go. Like, I was just going to go with my friends. You can keep the money. So she gives her dad back the money. He takes it, and she goes to her bed and hugs her pillow and starts crying, and she says, that's the first time I ever lied to my dad. All I kept thinking was, it just means that you're turning into an adult. Because as an adult, you learn, sometimes it's better to lie.
Yeah, and it probably won't be the last time you lie to your dad.
Right. It's like, it wasn't like you lied because of a bad thing. You weren't out drinking, and then you lied to him that, you know, you didn't drink and drive or whatever. This was a completely harmless lie. You did it to benefit someone that you loved. And this is where I put the way that Zach is so excited is really freaking cute. Because he's talking about he got a limo, and he got this date with his dream girl, and he's just adorable in this scene.
Yeah.
They are in Belding's office, and they're trying to pick a theme, and Zach wants the theme to be Zach and Kelly's prom. And I don't know, there was just something about it. He's so excited that this night is happening. The thing that I was not so thrilled about was there's another kid in the room. I cannot remember his name at the moment, but
yeah, I don't know his name.
He and Slater keep making fat jokes about this kid. First of all, they weren't funny. Second of all, I don't know why the show thought that was okay. You have two lead males, like, picking on this kid. What kind of message are you sending to people?
Yeah, this was before bullying was like a big campaign.
I guess. But also, the kid that they're calling fat is not even fat.
He's not, yeah.
So it was very confusing. Maybe they thought it would seem hurtful if the kid actually was fat, but it also made it not make any sense, so maybe you should have just cut the fat jokes.
Yeah, fat jokes are not okay.
Yeah. At some point during all of this, Screech is talking about this movie. Or, I'm sorry, no, it's when they're at the prom, Lisa is telling her date about this movie that they went and saw. And as she's explaining it, she says something about zombies in love, and the only thing I kept thinking was Tina Belcher would love this.
Oh my gosh. Pick your butts up. If your butts fall off, pick them up.
Pick them up. I feel like anything that I hear or see turns into a Bob's Burgers reference.
Yeah. Me
also,
too.
that's going to be our next Patreon episode, is Bob's Burgers.
I'm excited.
Jesse and Slater are also adorable at the prom. They decide to go together. I just love the two of them together because, like I said, he is somewhat misogynist and she is a raging feminist. And just the fact that they are together,
yeah,
it's so funny to me.
When they're setting up for the prom and they decide they're going to go together and they're like dancing.
Just beside each other.
I love that. That's my favorite scene. I love their dancing. It's so 80s and I love it.
There is also a line in the show that threw me for a loop because they ordered an Uncola. Did you catch that?
No.
like, someone comes up and asks what they want to drink, and I think it's Lisa orders an Uncola.
What is that?
I don't know. Like, I have in my notes, is that Californian or 80s for a diet? Like, is it a diet?
I don't know.
A diet cola? They called it an Uncola?
I don't know. I'm gonna Google it.
Okay.
7-Up.
Oh, it's 7-Up. Okay. Oh, now that you say that, I think that I have heard that. They probably couldn't say 7-Up, though. You know, if you say a specific brand, you have to pay rights. I googled it as well, and the guy from the ad looks like Titus Andromedon.
Oh my god, he does.
Yep.
Oh.
Was like, man, Titus has been around a while. Anyway, thank you for putting up with that Googling break, as in every episode that we record.
It was meant to remind people that it was not, in fact, cola. Okay, but it is. It doesn't have caffeine, but it still has the fizz,
Yeah.
so it's still pop.
Yep.
Pop.
Pap. So I got mixed up. Lisa orders that at the movie theater. That's what she tells Screech to get her. And I also have as a note when they're at the movie theater that if Screech would have just kissed her, she would have shut up.
That's true. That's a good way to get someone to shut up.
Yep. She might have ran screaming, but he still could have enjoyed the movie if she left. Kelly ends up telling Zach that she can't go to the prom, and he's really upset about it, and she basically doesn't even talk to him about it, and she just leaves, and he's devastated, and I just don't understand why she didn't tell him.
Because he was so excited about the limo and his tux and everything.
And I get that, but you just left him devastated and without any kind of explanation. Like, you already told him that you couldn't go. Why didn't you tell him why? That wasn't going to make it worse.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she was embarrassed.
Maybe. Zach really pulls through, though, because he finds out why. I think Jesse's the one who tells him. And so he goes to Kelly's house and he said, Jesse told me everything, and I want you to come with me. She's dressed in the typical 80s, even though it's early 90s, off-the-shoulder sweatshirt. The baggy sweatshirt and the whitewashed jeans, and he takes her to a picnic table right outside of the gymnasium where the prom is taking place with the window open. So they kind of get their own prom. The Zach and Kelly's prom banner that he had made as the theme, he has hanging there. And it's just a really sweet moment. They're just eating cake and they're having their own prom. And he asks her to dance, and you can just tell, like, it genuinely, it wasn't the prom that he was excited about. He was just excited to have this date with her.
Right. And I just want to point out that the cake had no frosting because the quote-unquote fat kid licked it off.
Yeah. And they still ate it.
Which is something I would do. I would lick frosting off of a cake.
I thought you meant eat the cake after.
No!
Like the frosting off.
No, I would be the one licking the frosting off. That's the best part.
So that concludes the prom episode.
You didn't want to say that it was probably more fun than the actual prom?
Oh, yeah, it probably was.
Didn't you tell me that the other day?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought, but then you were like,
No, it probably was. I agree with myself on this. So the next episode that we're going to talk about was the most requested episode. I get it because, I mean, I watched Saved by the Bell basically in the mornings before I got ready for school, but I didn't watch it religiously, and I remember this episode, and I don't remember any of the other ones. So it definitely left a lasting impact. It is Jesse's Song, Season 2, Episode 9, and this episode is where Jessie gets a low grade, I don't want to say a bad grade, she gets a low grade on one of her tests, and
That's not what I thought you were going to say.
What?
I thought you were going to say a low-grade drug addiction.
Well, she does get that.
I forgot you were talking about her actual grade.
Yeah. She gets a bad grade. She decides that she has to stay up. She has to study. Meanwhile, Zach sees that she's stressed out about this, but still decides to pressure her into doing a girls' singing group, kind of like New Kids on the Block. And the only way for her to handle both of these things...
Sorry.
You okay? I thought you were playing New Kids on the Block. I thought you were throwing in more sound effects.
I was trying to do a sound effect and a freaking ad came up on the app.
What a letdown.
Sorry, go ahead.
You gotta splurge that extra $1.99 to get without ads.
Well, if we get some more Patreon supporters, maybe I can.
So in order to cope with it, she starts taking caffeine pills, and she gets addicted. Okay. That was a letdown. Anyway.
What?
I'm sorry, listeners. I'm sorry. We're gonna have to...
I thought it was good.
It would have been good without the ad.
Sorry. I'll try not to have an ad ruin the sound effect next time.
Okay.
It's just like when I think about it and then I'm like, oh yeah, but then I have to like get on my phone and turn it on and then it's like the moment's gone.
We'll do better, guys. We promise.
Sorry.
We'll get it together.
Yeah.
She gets addicted, and Zach has to snap her out of it, and she recovers really quickly. So, a few things that I like about this episode is, at the beginning, Jesse gets into an argument with Slater, and he says this really weird thing, because it's a math test that she did poorly on, and he's saying how men are superior at math, and he says, shame you weren't born a man, and she says, shame you weren't born one either. Yeah, I really liked that line. During this whole ordeal where she is flipping out about a grade, Zach comes in and says that I think it's his uncle has a recording studio and they're really looking for this girl band, and he thinks that Kelly, Lisa, and Jesse would be perfect for this band. And Jesse tells him she's not interested. She's already stressing out. She's struggling with school. She really needs good grades to get into a decent college. And he just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing. So she doesn't give at this point. And Zach needs them to give a demo to take to his uncle to give to this manager. I don't know what he is. And the only way to do that is to get a recording, and they won't do it. So someone makes the comment that they sing all the time in the girls' locker room. So Zach makes Screech dress up as a woman janitor and go into the girls' locker room, which is highly inappropriate.
Extremely inappropriate.
Also, it is the worst disguise ever.
Yeah.
And the accent was pretty horrible, too. Yeah, so they're in the locker room, and Screech puts the broom over towards them with a microphone on it, and that's how Zach gets the recording to give to the record label.
He says pretend like it's a microphone.
Right. So yeah, then it goes to, or it kind of fades into Zach climbing into Jesse's window, which I don't understand. When he leaves Jesse's window, he walks to the end of the branch. That's not going to hold you. It obviously is a fake tree, but regardless, he comes in and he tells Jesse, good news, you got chosen by the record label. They loved your demo. And she's like, what demo?
Yeah.
And he just freely says, well, I sent Screech into the locker room. And I thought, what a creep.
Yeah, I feel like they acted like it wasn't that creepy.
Right. So she decides, in order to juggle this music and the schooling, she's going to start taking caffeine pills. And Slater sees her, or he finds the pills in her purse, and he begs her not to take them, which, good for you, Slater. But she doesn't listen.
But also don't tell women what to do. But it was nice of him to be concerned about her. Yeah, I'm just saying with what's going on in the world right now. I get what you're saying.
But yeah, so I said all of this stuff that Jesse is going through, though, like, this is typical of what kids go through in school nowadays.
Oh yeah, I was in high school, I was stressed out. In college, I was stressed out. In real life, I'm stressed out. Like, it never ends. And then I think, why was I stressed out in high school? It was so much easier than now, but it's just the way women are. They take on way too much. They want to make everybody happy, and everything has to be perfect. Which is why there's a little pumpkin head sitting on my lap right now.
Right. As a side note, I don't remember if it's the name of their band or another band, but the band's name is Zit Hit, and I think it's Screech that says they sound like a breakout group, and I thought that was really funny.
That's really funny. I didn't catch that.
Yeah. it cuts to this long music video, basically, with the women, or girls, I should say, and they're singing and dancing, and they got the big hair and the leotards, they're in a gym, and the song, I wasn't a big fan of the song, but that's just me. And there also was no solo in the song. The entire song is just the three women singing together, which I found kind of odd. Typically in music groups, each person has a solo at some point. I also said that I miss big hair.
I do too, and I don't think they had it in this episode, but I miss crimping.
Mm-hmm. So somewhere along here, Slater finds out that Jesse is actually taking the caffeine pills, and so he has a conversation with Zach. Zach is very defensive and says that Jesse would never do this. And I get that Jesse is his friend and he thinks that he knows her, but he really does need to listen to Slater because there's no reason why he would make this up. I mean, he should know that. But Zach goes over and kind of talks to Jesse. She's supposed to be doing a show or something, and she is basically passed out on the bed. Zach is trying to wake her up and get her to wake up, and she's like, oh, I have to go take my test, which she had already taken. Zach tells her that. She's losing complete chunks of time, and she's telling him, no, I'm fine, I can do this, I'm fine, and that's where you get into the famous, she's singing to him, I'm so excited, and then she just says, I'm so scared, and that's when Zach realizes, okay, there's a real problem here. And I don't know, because I've never taken caffeine pills, but people drink a lot of energy drinks now, and I feel like there's a lot of caffeine in it. So, I didn't know until I read the note that I'm about to say, but would caffeine make you react this way if you took too much?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't drink caffeine, for one thing.
I mean, I do, but it's never made me act like how Jessie was acting.
Yeah. The story behind this reaction and all of the things that's going on with Jessie and her behavior is that originally Jessie was supposed to take speed, not caffeine pills. And if you look at this episode around that, as opposed to caffeine pills, you kind of understand it a little more. It makes so much more sense because I just don't see this type of behavior from caffeine pills.
Yeah, I agree with that. But I don't understand why they would have originally planned for her to take speed, because it's such, a wholesome show.
Right. But I think it was supposed to be like that after-school special type thing. It wasn't condoning taking speed. It's supposed to be a cautionary tale instead of, hey, guys, go take these pills. So, I mean, I kind of get that.
I can see that, but I liked how at the end she was like, yeah, my mom's gonna take me to see a doctor, not for her addiction, but to talk about, why she thinks she has to be perfect at everything. So I thought that was nice.
That is nice, because it's not necessarily an addiction, it's what prompted her to take those pills in the first place. So, I think you're right, that was a good call for the writers. I also like the line, Zach apologizes to Slater for not listening, and he said, I wasn't very nice to you, and Slater responds with, you never are.
Yeah, that's true.
And I'm also really glad that they told her parents, because a lot of times kids do not have that conversation.
Yeah, it's hard to tell the parents.
Yeah, so I also have a quote from Elizabeth Berkley. It says, when asked about her favorite memory from the show, Berkley didn't hesitate in responding, the I'm so excited episode. It was so extreme. We made a music video. We were thrilled. That would be kind of cool as a teenage girl in the 80s, though, that you get to make a music video.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
And they're all friends, and when you're a young kid, you always had dance parties, and you made up dances and songs and everything, so they were just living the dream on a larger scale.
Yeah, I did all of those things.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
I
thought you were making fun of me.
No, we did. We made up dances and stuff, and
songs.
Yeah, me and one of my best friends from high school, we had we wrote a bunch of songs, actually.
Yeah, we wrote songs too. They were, by today's standards, probably very offensive. So,
Oh, ours were, like, really, like, innocent.
Well, the issue is in our neck of the woods growing up, we had certain terms that if I were to say it anywhere else, nobody would understand what it was. But we knew, so we really shouldn't have wrote the songs. But, you know, kids.
Yeah, kids.
The next episode that we are going to be talking about is called Screech's Spaghetti Sauce. It's from Season 4, Episode 3. And the gang starts this morning news program in the school. They're trying to figure out how to make it better, less boring. Of course, Zach is the one who comes up with the idea. He and Lisa are the main hosts of the show. Kelly is the weather girl. At one point, she has a coat on and an umbrella, and then it's supposed to be sunny, so she takes the trench coat off, and she's standing there in a bikini. That definitely would not fly nowadays.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, whose high school is that okay in? Because when we were in high school, well, I don't know about your high school. When I say when we were in high school, I'm talking about me and Chad. We went to the same high school. We weren't even allowed to have holes in our jeans.
I don't know if... I think we could have holes in our jeans, but, like, you couldn't wear a spaghetti strap. And if you wore shorts, like, they had to be longer than your fingertips,
like,
if you put them
middle
down at
finger?
your side. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it was like, man, times have changed.
Yeah, like, when I was in high school, it was right before, like, holey jeans were popular.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't have one hole in your jeans. And, like, the back, when you sat down, like, the back of your shirt could not come up. Like, there couldn't be any skin between the back of your shirt and the top of your pants.
Oh, wow.
When you sat down.
Yeah.
It was extreme.
That is extreme. But you don't want to distract the boys.
Oh, yeah, you know, because we're the problem.
Yep. So as part of this news show, there is a cooking segment, and they chose Screech and Slater to do the cooking segment. Screech is making spaghetti, and it's kind of spaghetti sauce. It's kind of supposed to be a joke from what I gathered. I mean, they're actually cooking, but Slater's kind of making fun of Screech a little bit, and Screech is just funny in general. But the spaghetti sauce ends up tasting really, really good. And so everybody comes in and they're tasting the sauce. Though there is a rich girl at the school, and all of the guys are trying to get with her. She is a cute girl. Do you know who the girl is?
No.
You didn't recognize her.
No.
She is Salil Moon Fry.
I don't know who that is.
Who is Punky Brewster.
I don't know who that is.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I knew I was gonna get in trouble.
I'm gonna have to find a new co-host.
God!
You don't know who Punky Brewster is? Oh,
I mean, I've heard of her.
That's an assignment that I'm giving you. You have to watch Punky Brewster. Anyway, everyone is wanting to get with this girl, but she's a little too high class. She's not going to deal with it. Zach actually says, I will pick you up in my classic Mustang. And she says, classic means old.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a classic Mustang. Come on. So it's just kind of set up that this is the way that this girl is. They decide that Screech's spaghetti sauce is so good that they're going to package and sell it. And the way that they're going to do this is Zach smuggled some flasks out of the chemistry lab. And they're going to fill the flasks with spaghetti sauce, cork it, and put a label on it. I really, really hope they clean those flasks.
I think that they were brand new because they put it on, like, the science department's budget.
Okay, that would make sense. Good, because, man oh man, I'm just imagining, like, the smell. It wasn't the chemistry lab, but the biology lab with the formaldehyde and everything.
That's the worst.
Yeah, I would not want any type of food around that smell. So, they set up this little conveyor belt, and they're packaging it, all of the main 6. And Screech, for whatever reason, gets distracted, and the stuff just keeps falling and hitting the ground, and then he tries to stop it, and he hits it, and he actually turns it up, but it takes them a long time to decide to stop that. I don't know why it was going so slow.
Yeah,
Just
it wasn't
stop.
even going that fast to start with. I can't believe... I mean, it is TV, but...
Right, and I think that it was supposed to be kind of a nod to I Love Lucy with the chocolates on the conveyor belt.
Yes! It was like I Love Lucy. I thought
Yeah.
about that, too,
But
when I was watching
they didn't
it.
do it as well.
No.
I mean, it was comical, but it was not at all the same caliber.
No. Lucy was definitely funnier.
Yeah. So they end up selling this spaghetti sauce. It's insanely popular. They even do a commercial, and the commercial was adorable. Had I seen this commercial, I would have bought some of the spaghetti sauce. It's so ridiculous, and I think that's what makes it genius. It's supposed to be
It
ridiculous.
was very Italian.
Yes, it was very offensive for Italians, but
I wish we could consult Brittany D on this.
yes, we're gonna have to. Just send her a clip of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's seen it.
Yeah, that's true. She's pretty well versed in television, so anyway, it was funny. So they sell this spaghetti sauce, insanely popular. He starts making money. All of a sudden, Punky Brewster is interested in Screech because she sees potential.
She sees money.
Yeah. So he keeps buying her all of this jewelry and everything. While he's in this relationship with her, a guy comes to the school, and he asks Screech if he is the one who is selling the spaghetti sauce, and he says yes, but Zach steps in and decided that he was going to say he was in charge, so he was basically legal of the whole operation. The guy says, well, your recipe was taken from a cookbook. This is your cease and desist letter. So they have to stop making the spaghetti sauce because it turns out Screech's grandma's recipe was just something that she pulled from a book.
I mean, you gotta get it somewhere. It has to start somewhere.
Yeah, and just, you know what, add 2 extra ingredients and you can sell it. Put in a little extra pinch of salt. Change it up. After he gets the cease and desist letter, Screech is having a conversation with Punky Brewster up against the lockers. After this conversation has taken place, she is talking about how she wants some other type of jewelry, because of course she does. And he says he'll get it for her, and he runs around the corner, and he starts to run back, but at this point she's already talking to a friend, and she's basically just admitting that she is using this guy. Look at this necklace he bought me, and look at this, and now he's buying me this. So Screech finds out pretty quickly that this is not a real relationship, and it kind of breaks him a little bit. I felt bad for him. After he goes to the gang and he explains everything, Zach says, I think I have a way out of this. The way that he gets Screech out of it is he basically sets up a fake meeting that someone is coming to pay thousands of dollars to buy the recipe. And Screech says, okay, he's gonna sell it, he wants out of the business. Punky Brewster bids more. So it gets this bidding war because she's all about money and she doesn't know about this legal issue with it. So basically, she ends up bidding enough money that they can pay Belding back for all of the supplies that they use and everything. And she takes off thinking that she's rich, and she's probably gonna get sued. And that's basically the end of the episode.
Yeah, she's a piece of trash.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel bad for Screech because he was really excited that she was into him.
Yeah, I feel bad for Screech in a lot of episodes. I watched a few more just to kind of get the feel of the show. And there was one that I watched where he is really upset because Lisa keeps turning him down. Zach is trying to get him to do a homework assignment that he doesn't want to do. And the way that he is trying to get Screech out of the funk to help him is he basically pretends to be a girl and he catfishes Screech. And it's just kind of sad because he's so excited that this girl is interested in him, and there really isn't a girl who is.
Yeah, poor Screech. He has a good heart.
He really does. He also has a good something else because the actor who plays him sells sex toys in the shape of that.
Yikes.
Yeah. I can't remember. I saw that on, he's very proud of that. I don't know. The guy who plays him, I haven't done a lot of research, but I'm pretty sure I've seen mugshots of him and everything. I'm not sure he's as wholesome as,
Mugshots?
I think I saw mugshots of him.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about, but it's just weird because, like, he's probably the sweetest one on the show, and he's the one that I'm seeing all this weird shit about. Everybody else on that show is genuinely wholesome.
Yeah.
Like, they grew up to
Jessie
is a stripper?
Yeah.
That's what you were going for. That's inappropriate. She is an actress.
Okay.
Okay, Demi Moore did striptease, and she's still reputable.
She's not on the show.
It's a comparison.
Okay. I mean, I personally don't care.
Yeah.
If you want to be naked, be naked. If I'm
naked right
like
now.
That, I probably would be naked. I'm just saying.
I get what you're saying. I do. I just mean, like, they've gone on to have successful careers in some aspect. Mm-hmm. You know, Mario Lopez, I think that he does,
He's on the radio.
Is he? I don't know. I know he used to do Entertainment Tonight.
Yeah, he's on ET, and he also does stuff on the radio, too.
Right. Elizabeth Berkley, she, has been in movies and TV shows, Showtime shows and everything. Tiffany Amber Thiessen, she has a cooking show right now on the Food Network. Yes, and it's ingenious because the name of the show is Dinner at Tiffany's.
That's cute.
Yeah. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm definitely going to look into it because that woman has not aged at all. Really, a lot of them have not aged.
Has anyone aged from any of the shows that we've done? It seems like they haven't.
Some of them, I think they have. But,
Sorry.
Nope, you're
No! Right. Okay, sorry. I'm trying to Google that Tiffany person to see which one she was.
She was Kelly.
Oh, okay. For some reason I thought Kelly was someone else. But Game of Thrones spoilers keep trying to get in my freaking face.
I'm
and
really
I'm like,
sorry about
no,
that.
no.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna have to stay off the social medias till I'm done watching
Forever. I'm about to rewatch, so I might catch up with you.
Yeah, I'm on season 3. I'm not sure what episode.
Yeah. I'm still recovering emotionally from the finale.
Yeah. I'm sure that I will be upset when I get there. I mean, I'm upset at most of the episode endings, so...
We're very emotional to watch these types of shows.
I know, that's definitely the reason I don't watch This Is Us or Grey's Anatomy, because F that. I did watch Grey's Anatomy for a long time, and then I was like, this is self-abuse. Mm-hmm. Why am I doing this?
I do the same thing. I don't watch Grey's Anatomy anymore. So before we get into the random facts, we are going to play an ad for one of our sister, brother, family ads from our network. Also, if you guys noticed, there is a new bump at the beginning of this episode. We did not really change networks. The MSE network has actually gotten really big. There are a lot more podcasts, and they are outside of the Michigan area, and so they thought it would be a good idea to have kind of like a rebranding so that people who were, say, in California or Louisiana or New Jersey, they weren't kind of typecast into that one area, so people from Michigan weren't the only ones listening. I thought that was smart, and I think it's exciting that the network is growing. I am going through a lot of the podcasts right now, listening. They are all really good. I really feel like this is a good network.
Yeah, all the ones I've listened to so far have been really good, and I plan on listening to more. We're kind of a big deal now. Our network. Not us. Our network.
Yeah, we're probably on the lower end.
We're just part of it.
Yeah.
We're just here for the ride.
So, the podcast that you're going to hear the promo for is In a City Like Yours. It is a really good podcast. You should check it out. Basically, the host interviews just everyday people who have gone through, I want to say, more extraordinary events. Just the fact that people have been through these things and they've gotten through them. It's just incredible. The episode that I listened to today, actually I listened to a couple. One was about a transgender male who also suffers from Asperger's and the struggles that he went through. Another is about a man who he was basically bullied throughout his entire school grade life and suffers from PTSD from that. But he's a successful actor, and it's a really nice podcast. You guys should check it out. Here's the promo.
I'm Michael, the host of the semi-monthly podcast In a City Like Yours. Join me as I chat with interesting people with interesting life stories. You can listen to the podcast on all major podcast platforms, including Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and TuneIn. You can follow us on Twitter at IACLYS Podcast, as well as on Facebook and Instagram at In a City Like Yours Podcast. Please feel free to let me know what you think, and keep coming back for the many interesting stories in a city like yours. This podcast is part of the Michigan Sports and Entertainment Network.
So we are going to head into the random facts section of this. I pulled all of these facts from mentalfloss.com, 22words.com, and mtv.com. So it's just kind of a mix. I don't know what one came from what article. While Kelly Kapowski held the keys to Zach Morris's heart, Lark Voorhees had Mark Paul Gosselaar's on lock. The couple dated for 3 years, including during the filming of Saved by the Bell Hawaiian Style, and in 2009, Gosselaar told People that all of us dated at one point or another. It was incestuous.
That's gross.
Gosselaar had to dye his hair every 2 weeks during filming. That's crazy. A lot of upkeep.
That is a lot of upkeep.
Gosselaar, a natural brunette, became well acquainted with bleach during his years on Saved by the Bell. He admitted to People that getting back to my natural color took a while. I haven't dyed my hair since 1997.
He's lucky he didn't get a brain aneurysm.
Does it cause that?
Apparently, it can, it's a rare occurrence, but you can get a brain aneurysm from dyeing your hair.
Weird.
Yeah. My mother-in-law informed me of that because, I dye my hair a lot.
Right.
But I'm actually really happy with the color that it is right now.
Good. I like it too. Mario Lopez credits Slater's due to Mel Gibson. He said, I liked my hair long because I wanted to look like Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon. I didn't even know I had a mullet. Looking back, I guess it does qualify.
That's funny. You definitely had a mullet.
You definitely had a mullet.
Either a mullet or, an older woman with a banana clip. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It wasn't like an Uncle Jesse or Uncle Joey mullet towards the beginning of Full House.
A mohawk mullet.
Yeah.
Like a mo-holet.
It was like a Jerry curl mullet mix.
Yeah.
There was no swearing allowed on set. In order to maintain the show's wholesome feel, executive producer put an... What does that say? We're just cutting that. There was no swearing allowed on set. End of story. Kelly and Jesse mysteriously disappeared in the final season until graduation day.
Why?
It says, after filming Saved by the Bell's final season... But before the episodes aired, NBC decided to double their episode order, a move that would require re-signing the entire cast. While the majority of the cast renewed their contracts, Thiessen and Berkeley refused. Enter Tori Scott. To solve the lack of female lead and love interest for Zach problem, the show introduced a new character, tough girl new student Tori Scott, played by Leanna Creel. With no explanation, Tori joined the gang, and Kelly and Jesse were never mentioned again until graduation.
I liked Tori.
I did too. The show's finale, which featured the crew's high school graduation, was filmed before Thiessen and Berkeley's exit. So, Kelly and Jesse appear in their caps and gowns alongside their best buds. Conspicuously missing? Tori.
That's weird.
Yeah. Alright, Eric Dane, who played McSteamy on Grey's Anatomy, appeared as a volleyball opponent at the Malibu Sands Beach Club in 1991. Denise Richards also made an appearance at the Malibu Beach Club because, of course, she did. She's from Baywatch.
Whoop whoop!
Tori Spelling, whose dad Aaron was one of the show's producers, had a recurring role as Violet Bickerstaff, a love interest for Screech.
Oh, that's sweet.
Christine Taylor, which we talked about in the Friends episode, Ben Stiller's wife, ex-wife.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Tori Spelling, apparently, I heard, I think it was on Masked Singer. I think she was on Masked Singer. She was the unicorn, I believe. Anyway, she has a book called Storytelling, and I just want to say that is an awesome use of whatever.
Yep.
Like, how many people could do that?
Yeah, like one.
Tori Spelling, Storytelling. That's awesome. Just that, I don't even know if the book's any good or not. Just the title is amazing.
You're
Good.
judging a book by its cover.
Literally, I am, and I think that's awesome.
I definitely thought you were gonna say, is she okay?
I'm pretty sure she's okay.
Yeah, she's, they just filmed 90210.
Yes.
Yeah, sadly without Luke Perry.
Oh,
Yeah, bummer.
is he okay?
He's dead.
Oh shit! Oh shit! He
Way
is dead. I
to
forgot.
go.
Can you cut that out?
I don't know that I can. So yeah, for those of you who didn't know, Luke Perry passed away from a stroke earlier this year.
Rest in peace, Luke Perry. I'm really sorry that I forgot. I knew, but then I didn't realize what he was involved in.
Right, yeah.
And yeah,
I gotcha.
it's like a puzzle. There's so many things to like try to know when you're trying to be a podcaster.
I know.
It's really hard.
And like, that's a tragic thing.
Yeah.
So
It is tragic.
I feel bad for his family and friends and everything. He was very young. He was like 52 years old, I think.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. So, bringing it back up a little bit, the show's set is alive and well and still being utilized by the Disney Channel. Following Saved by the Bell's cancellation, the set was never completely struck down. You can catch glimpses of Bayside High School in reruns of That's So Raven. Do you remember that show?
Yeah, there's a remake too.
Oh, yeah, you're right. There is. It's with her kids, I think.
Yeah.
Where the school was also named Bayside High. I did not remember that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and Nickelodeon's iCarly, where it was redubbed Ridgeway Middle School.
I don't watch that, but Chloe probably knows about it.
Yeah, I didn't watch iCarly either. You probably remember that Slater was his last name, but do you know what the AC stood for?
I do, only because I read your notes.
Albert Clifford.
He's a big red dog.
And a prince. Prince Albert.
And a piercing.
During the entire run of Saved by the Bell, we never once see the outside of the school.
Okay, do they mean like as a whole?
They have to, because we saw the outside of the school.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think that they're talking about like how in the Golden Girls, you know, it always opened with the shot of the house.
Yes.
I think that's what they're talking about, because
Okay.
I saw that and I included it for that reason.
We saw a wall of the
We saw
school.
a wall and a window. And excuse me, I got a cashew stuck in my throat.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
What were you guys eating for a snack during Breaking Bad?
Cashews.
Okay.
That is the perk of being a guest on our podcast. You can come to my house and I will serve you alcohol and nuts.
Okay, but if you're Kelly, you don't get to go to Brittany's house. You get to sit at your own house and listen to your screaming kids scream.
She's banished. My wife doesn't let me hang out with her.
Hi, Mary.
And the last tidbit I have is, I don't know how random it is, Zach Morris's gigantic cell phone brand was called a brick. And I wonder if that's where that comes from.
Well, that's better than Screech's gigantic...
Yeah, what's that one called, I wonder?
A stick?
It seems reasonable.
A brick and a stick.
A brick and a stick. So you can either get a cell phone or a dildo. Or buy one, get one half off.
I don't know if that's true.
So yeah, that's all I got for you in terms of random facts. So, Kelly, you have all of the social media comments, and you also have some other exciting news. And just random things that you want to throw in.
Oh, yeah. I was like, what exciting news? I have it typed out. I forgot. Let me start with this so I don't forget. We wanted to shout out to our one Saudi Arabia listener.
Yes, and as of today, we have another outside of the U.S. listener.
Where from?
Mexico.
That's awesome!
Yes, so welcome.
We are international now.
Finally.
And I was gonna say that the Saudi Arabian listener is probably my college boyfriend fling.
Oh, yep.
It's probably not, because I'm not even, he doesn't even get on Facebook anymore, so
No.
I don't know. But it could be, and if it is, hi.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. Also, we have 905 followers on Twitter. That's really exciting.
That is exciting.
That's only 95 followers away from 1,000.
I know. I feel like I'm gonna lose my mind. I did not expect to I don't know, we just started this for fun.
Yeah, it's only been 5 months.
Yeah.
Almost 6.
We interact a lot with people on there, and it's so much fun. And yeah, I mean, we've been doing it for about 6 months. We release bi-weekly, but there's been some hiatuses due to just health issues in life.
Personal life.
Yeah, but, we are going into summer, and I have really high hopes that we're not going to have the sicknesses we had in the winter/spring.
I
seasons.
saged both of our houses.
Yes,
so
saged both of our houses. We also learned from listening to things I found online that if you put white flowers in your house, it absorbs all of the negative energy. So shout out to them, and I'm trying that.
yeah, I'm gonna go buy some white flowers tomorrow.
Yep.
And put them in my children's rooms because they scream like demons.
Because that's the final step before she calls in an exorcist.
Yeah. That's the noise that you usually hear in the background of our podcast.
They're good kids. They're just
cranky.
kids. Yeah.
Yeah. They just want chips.
They just want chips. I get that way too when I want chips, so.
I mean, I can't blame them because they act seriously like I do. So,
yeah, if I didn't have cashews in front of me right now, I might be screaming.
And then my last shout out is to Clickless Colin. And he doesn't work for Clickless anymore at Kroger, but he lives probably in Ohio somewhere. And if you're listening and you used to work for Clickless at Kroger, I just want to say hi.
Yeah, where did you go?
Where did you go, and
you
what
were
are you
our
doing?
favorite.
You were my favorite Clicklist host, and I really hope you're doing well.
Yep.
Tweet us or follow us on Facebook if you hear this. You're probably not listening to this, but by chance, if you are, I hope you're doing well.
I'm gonna put out a missed connections ad on Craigslist for Clickless Colin.
He's probably like, what the fuck?
Probably.
He was my best friend and he didn't know it.
That's not creepy at all.
It's not. But
this is why you're not allowed to hang out, or why I'm not allowed to hang out with you.
I seriously expected to pull up one time and him be like, Mama, you kind of look like a hot mess. Let's fix your eyebrows.
Or for him to say, hey girl, where
yeah,
you been?
and I would be like, Colin, you're right. Can you please help me with my eyebrows? I really need help.
What if that's what he's doing now?
Well, good for you, because
Yeah.
that's what you should be doing.
Yeah. We're rooting for you. You don't know who we are, but we're your biggest fans. We're rooting for you, Clickless Colin. Go for it.
I'm rooting for everybody that follows their dreams.
That's true.
I somewhat am following my dreams. When I was little, I wanted to be a biologist. I'm pretty close.
Yeah.
Food safety, that's kind of important.
Kind of. Just kidding. We already established in the Dexter episode that food safety is important.
It is important. I mean, it's not like as important as some things, but it could be life-threatening.
It definitely could be.
I don't know what I just said. I think I said light-threatening.
Light-threatening?
You know what I mean.
Be careful what you eat, guys, because it could be light-threatening.
It definitely could be light-threatening. Anyway, so, hey guys, welcome to... I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
We're just starting over. We're just starting the whole thing over.
What was the first thing on our...
What do you miss about the 80s?
Lauren H. Logan, hey girl. She said, all of the neon colors and patterns. I already do this in my own way. But dang, do I crave neon colors and funky prints. I would skip the big hair, but I do the side ponytail still.
I love the big hair, but you rock that side ponytail.
I love the big hair, too. My hair was a mess the other day, and Chloe said, your hair looks like a rock star. And I was like, thank you. Jeff House says, the music, the movies, the Saturday morning cartoons. I totally agree with all of those.
Yeah, me too. Also, Jeff House is a brand new fan, I guess, on Facebook. So welcome.
He's a brick house.
He is a brick house.
I don't know. How I Met Your Friends. Hey, girls. They said a gif of Jesse and some dude, and it says, I'm so excited.
That dude is AC Slater.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it is not.
Yes, it is.
It doesn't look like him.
Well, I hate to break it to you. You've had too much, lady. That is AC Slater.
Okay, well, in my defense, in the GIF, it does not look like him on my phone.
Okay.
It looks like a great value version of AC Slater.
You know why? It's because this is from the Jimmy Fallon skit. So this is not from, this is as him now.
Got it. So, it is a great value version. So don't make fun of me. Plus, I totally sang that.
You did. I will
You're
give
welcome.
You props.
You're welcome, everyone. Or, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Because it wasn't very good. Okay. Sweet Shiznit.
Why did you have to pick that name? Kelly's never going to get that right. Sweet Shiznits.
I refuse to admit I ever watched the show. I've never heard of Lisa Turtle. The DNA test determined that was a lie. I said DNA. It turned out that was a lie. You know what I meant.
The lie detector.
Okay. 10K dollar day says most quotable moment of the show. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so scared. And What's Her Name podcast says we second this one. 10K dollar day says it also describes adulthood, which is so true. Michael Yelly? You think that's Yelly?
I think it is.
I like that name. Yelly. What if my name was Kelly Yelly?
Oh my god. It's like Dawson Wasson.
Dawson Wasson! I love that. I forgot about that. Anyway, they posted a gif of 555 which is the number you call if you want the sauce. The screech sauce.
Don't say that. Don't say screech sauce after we just talked about the sex toy. It's the spaghetti sauce. Screech's spaghetti sauce.
Okay, it's for your pasta.
Yes, your pasta.
Whatever. Okay, what am I on now?
I think that's it.
So, that was What Do You Miss About the 80s? Now we are on...
No. You just read all of them.
No, I didn't do the Fave episodes.
What did we just do then?
Oh. Well, there's still some I didn't read.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Lauren H. Logan said, I would watch the show while getting ready for class every morning, my junior year of college. My schedule and TV rerun schedule lined up to make my mornings totally awesome. I always liked when Slater was involved with something. Certified hottie. As a true adult now, I've been watching the show. Zach Morris is trash, and I can't believe the kinds of stuff Zach got away with on that show. I just laughed along with everyone, and now I'm like, what the hell, Lauren? Times were simpler back then, and a guy could sell his friends' belongings to make a buck for himself in true Zach fashion. Also, check out the spoof 28 Days Later. Love when he bakes a cake, but mixing random crap and out comes a perfect Bayside cake.
I'll have to check that out.
Is that it?
Nope. You got one more. What Does It Matter podcast.
I lost them. Okay. Flashy yet fun and melodic guitar playing from musicians who are able.
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
That's what they miss from the 80s. I'm sorry that I did a really bad job on those.
Guys, we got a little drunk.
We got a little drunk, and I'll say it again. We work full-time, and we're moms, so...
And we were having internet issues. This is like the third part that we have recorded. It's just not been a good night, y'all, so...
We're just trying our best.
Yeah.
That's all a mom could hope for.
Please just love us. Please keep listening.
Oh. Anything else? Do we have to say anything else?
I don't think so.
I did want to say something else.
Okay. Go ahead.
This is our 11th episode!
I know. That's exciting.
That's insane. Okay, guys. Before January of this year, this started as a joke idea. And now we're on our 11th episode.
We listen to a lot of podcasts and we talk about like all of this stuff. And we thought, you know what? We could do a podcast. And we just kind of laughed it off until we were just thinking, you know, this is something that we could have fun doing. You know, we're moms. We don't always get time to ourselves. What can we do that's kind of ours? And we decided to go for it. And you guys have been great.
And it's not always ours because my kids, who are not asleep like they should be, like to butt in.
Yeah. I'm in the basement. My kid's on the second story, so I look out.
I'll be on first shift soon, so they will be asleep. Hopefully. Once they transition.
So the next episode that we're going to be doing is Parks and Rec.
Woo!
Yeah.
And you tropical fish.
And we're going to have Belinda back, which is really exciting.
I didn't know that, and I'm really excited.
Yeah, so Belinda is the one who joined us for the Office episode, and she had so much fun doing it. She asked what the other shows were, and she also likes Parks and Rec, which is very similar to The Office, and she jumped on. So
I love that our friends want to come back, even after they've experienced this.
Yeah, I mean... They definitely care for us.
Yeah. And, like, Chris Pratt, that's where he started out. And now he's, like, the shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tweet him. I will.
Also, Aubrey Plaza.
I will tweet all of them.
Okay.
I already tweeted Aubrey Plaza and most of them, and that's the ones that I tweeted that didn't respond.
Yeah, you're right.
I'll tweet them again. I will tweet all of y'all until somebody responds to me.
Tweet Jenna Fisher and get her to come on the show and explain why The Office is better.
I'm coming for you. All of you. I will tweet you and tweet you and tweet you and tweet you until you get tired of seeing the notifications and you tweet me back.
You're gonna get a restraining order.
No, I won't. Well, at least I'll get some response.
You'll get an autograph.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, that's all we have for you today. It's been a lot of fun. We drank entirely too much. Thank you for tolerating us.
And my children. I'm really sorry.
And we will be back next time. Thanks, guys.
We love you guys. Bye.
To interact with us and have your responses read on the show, follow us on Facebook and Twitter at the Faves of Our L1 and join us on Patreon for bonus content and special merchandise at patreon.com/thefavesofoural1. That's the Faves of Our L and the number 1. You can also email us at thefavesofOurLives@gmail.com.